Hey lovely friends, I'm in the kitchen this rainy afternoon. I was going to say Saturday. It's because I'm on holidays. Every afternoon feels like a Saturday. Hey, I'm here and I was going to show you a couple of things that I pair together, a couple of pairing recipes when I make something, say, which I've just done, some gluten-free, grain-free bread rolls. I've just used up 5 egg whites. And so I've got 5 egg yolks here that are going to get used in a recipe in a little while. And then I've got these luscious organic eggshells. Now, what on earth would you think of doing with some eggshells? You can do some research, check it out. Years ago I discovered that people actually wash and dry and grind these up for humans for various things. Great for bone and arthritis. You can have a look. Just you do the research. I was convinced, and I have done it over the years quite a few times. Well, I found an easy way. So today I wanted to talk to you about pet food in my Thermomix. And what I like to do is not waste anything. So with the Thermomix, it's great because we can chop down, blend down, and basically conceal certain things in our food that otherwise would be going to waste. Things from celery tops, you name it. So I'm going to show you a few things that I put in preparation. If I buy a dog mince, I will throw in a number of different goodies, good nutrient rich foods that will support their health. So what I've just done is I've just made these grain-free bread rolls in my Thermomix. That's what they're called, gluten and grain-free bread rolls. I love them. We're going to take off for a couple of days and I just like to take something. I have a couple of tins, salmon or tuna, an avocado and these rolls. I know that I'll never go hungry if we get, stuck for a snack or a lunch. I've got those. So I'm making that up to take. And I also want to make up my dog food before I go. Now, I usually feed them from a company called Rogue Raw. So that's awesome with a mixture of different beasts from ducks, turkeys, venison, beef, rabbit, you name it, lamb heads, deer feet, we can get it all. And I love it. But, there are times where I make up a dish with some minced meat. You probably source a good quality mincemeat from your pet butcher, local pet store, and you can pay a bit for it when they go adding things to it. So what I want to suggest today is you use a few of your goodies from home. Here's a bit of a recipe template that I use. So having done my rolls, and I've just got rid of those, I also milled up. I love to take the time when I grind something is just to do a bit extra. So these are golden flax seeds. I just ground them up, put them back in the packet, and then they'll live like that in my fridge, and I can just then add them to my dog food as I go from day to day. So that's a little tip. Never use whole flax in things, even your granola, putting them through things, because they are purely undigestible. So they just go straight through you and out the other end, not giving you any benefit. So I love to grab a packet, grind it up, keep it in the fridge if you don't want it rancid, or just do, as you know, with the Thermomix, you can do a teaspoon at a time, which is fine. So I've got a few of these ingredients that are going to go into my dog food today, but what I wanted to showcase was, of course, as I finished that recipe, I want to show you what I do with these eggshells. Now, as I said, for human grade, I've got them washed well and ground in a container. It can be added to anything. Yes, it is a bit gritty, so you want to choose what you put it in. I used to do this for the animals as well, but now I've found that this is just as quick and simple. Of course, organic, start the good source of eggs. I probably wouldn't want caged eggshells. And look, all these tiny little garlic cloves. They're so little, they take ages to fiddle and pick. Well, this is where I can just mince them all up with those eggshells to get in my mix that I'm going to make. So I'm just going to give that 10 seconds. Of course, when the dogs hoe into this with whatever mince meat that I pick, they won't even notice the eggshells in there. Look how fine that is, 10 seconds. Ta-da! And it actually smells really nice with that garlic. Now on top of that, as I'm calling this, you know, pet food, no waste, here's something else that I make every morning. It's usually my ginger turmeric tea, a little bit of honey and lemon. So that also can go in. Obviously, I could put it in the compost if I wanted, but there's some benefit in that ginger. And don't be scared. People think you can't give your dogs ginger and garlic, and it's wrong. You know, I know natural vets that say otherwise. It is a great anti-parasitic, great for their immune system. I think the studies that were shown you couldn't give it to them, it's because they just had far too much, and nobody would consume 5 kilos of garlic in one sitting. So yeah, just check that out for yourself. I think it's great. I try to get garlic in, and I'm going to do a mixed lot of veggies. So, you know, sweet potato, pumpkin, whatever you've got that's left over or seasonal at the moment is great to add to your dog mince. I like to do it raw, but I know that some dogs prefer it cooked up, so you could do it either way. I've got some broccoli going in there, and look, I've had a few too many of late pears that all ripen together that my lorikeets and my wild birds have been enjoying, but I'm just going to throw that pear in as well in here for the dog food. Okay, there's enough in that, so I'll give that a chop down. Speed 6. Or 20 seconds, depends on the size that you've thrown in there. Sometimes I go a little bit too big, but we're just turning it into a mash. All right, so to complete this, I'm going to add in my flax. So a couple of tables of flax. These are great omega-3s for your dogs, particularly when they're getting older. I've got a 12-year-old. She does a few little spinnies now before she sits down. So obviously she's just starting to get a touch of arthritis as they do. And this is one supplement that I do buy, that is Rosehip Vital. Okay, these are yeah, just an added bonus. I'll just do 2 scoops of those in with that. I'll add some turmeric. Look, not too much, you don't want to turn them off their dinner, but at the same time, a bit of turmeric is great for us. It's also great for our pets. Now I know some people that will actually add apple cider vinegar, some good quality sea salt to their meal for the dogs, because there are minerals in those things as well. So that's a big mix of veggie, and I can either just add this now to a bowl. I'll often save my veggie pulp from making juice, add that to it, so beetroot and carrot and celery can go in there as well. I'll sometimes just yeah, fry up a bit of mince and put this through it. Either way, you've got to test and see what your dogs think, whether they like it or not. And then, as I say, you know, pairing recipes. I've used up my egg whites, my egg shells I should say today, And I've made my rolls, and I'm about to make a lemon pie, just lemon tart, using up these ones. You could also take a peek at the various recipes like the citrus lemon butter and use those up. There's a number of things that we can use. Now, just in finishing up, just, you know, think about the things that we do waste, and that's where, you know, my celery tops, I wouldn't be putting too much because it would overpower the flavour, but can go in here for the dogs. And I do things like my pawpaw seeds. Now, I have been known to wash dry in the dehydrator and also grind those up. They're excellent anti-parasitic, so, you know, even for humans, they are a good source for your kids. Instead of buying Combantrum and other chemicals, you can put that in your mix. And then you've got just throwing them in raw for the dogs, because I mean they gulp up. As long as it's got a good quota of meat in this, they will gulp that up, no worries. And they're just a few extra things that I like to include when I've got them. Look, coconut oil is always a good thing. My dogs love licking it. Other night I just put some on my hand. They just love the coconut oil, but also put it in there for a bit of flavour. You can look up the benefits of coconut oil if you haven't already. Everybody can do with a bit of coconut oil in their life. And I guess it's just about making it as tasty as you can to get your doggies to eat this amazing no waste pet food in the Thermomix.